Alright YouTube, I'm going to give you a quick video on how to change the oil in your roughly 2010 to 2016, I think, Ford Expeditions or F-150s with the 5.4 liter Triton V8. Here's the stuff you're going to need. 7 quarts of the finest oil I can get. Oil filter by Wix. There's your part number. Wrench that fits the oil filter in case the last person that put it on there did it wrong. 16mm wrench for the drain bolt. Sharpie so you can write down your mileage on your little thing so you can keep it for later. This whole bill cost me right about 50 bucks at the local O'Sadley Auto Parts. My keys are out of the truck so that I don't accidentally start it, with no oil in it. A couple of napkins for cleaning up. Drain pan that can hold 7 quarts of oil. Because sometimes they give you the little small one if you buy oil. It's a little deal, and those usually hold like 5 quarts right at the rim, so just in case. Alright, now before I get started, I'd like to check my mileages. So I have the key on right now. Like I said, I had it out, but we got it on right now. I'm going to go to my info, clear that because I have the door open. See, I have my trip there, 3656. That's how many miles I have on this oil change. I'm going to go ahead and reset that because I'm changing my oil. I'm also going to go to my oil life, and I'm going to hold reset to refresh that. Oil life is now at 100. I can now turn my key off. All of my settings are reset. Yeah, I do get more mileage. I'm going to open my hood, which is down here, and we'll get started. Alright, we're up here at the front of the truck. Here's where the hood latch is, just under the center, right to the right of the Ford emblem. You can feel a little thing. You push it to the right side of the truck. There it goes. There's the 5.4 liter in all its glory. Here's your dipstick if you want to check and see how much oil your truck has lost since your last change, or just to check it in general. This is your fill, confirming 5W40. And we're going to go under the truck. Alright, we're here under the truck. We're over by the driver's side front tire. Now, you can just see the drain bolt there, right in the center of the screen, 16mm, and my drain pan just under it. I just drove the truck from my house to here at work, so I got about 10 miles on it. It's pretty warm. I can feel the heat coming off the exhaust, so be careful under here when you go to drain this. Alright, I have my oil draining now. Got the plug in my hand, a little bit got on me. Alright, while the oil's draining underneath, we'll locate our oil filter. Happens to be right there in the front. It's not the greatest design because when you go to knock it loose, it dumps oil all over everything down there. But it is easy to get to, thankfully. So when my oil's done draining, I'll try and situate my drain pan in the middle of that cross member there, because it's going to want to drip this way, and it's going to want to drip that way, it's going to want to drip that way, it's going to go everywhere. Alright, while I'm waiting on that oil to finish dripping, I'm going to come over here and prep my oil filter. You see I already wrote my current mileage on there. I saw that earlier when I was going through the gauges. I'm going to cut this top off later and put it in my glove box for safekeeping, because I'm not going to keep this truck forever, and I'd like to have proof that I changed the oil. I'll pull out my new filter here. And what I'm going to do is dip my finger in one of these brand new bottles and just dampen this little seal here. I'm not going to fill it up, that's dumb. It's going to spill out when I go to put it under there. Alright, you're looking at a hand, sorry. We're under the front of the truck here, looking up. There's your oil filter from the bottom. Take my oil filter wrench and knock it loose. Hopefully most of the oil will run this way, as you can see the previous staining, but a lot of it's going to go that way. So be ready to play clean up with a rag. Alright, you see I changed the filter. When you go to put it on there, tighten it as much by hand as you can. Don't use that wrench. That wrench will just make your life miserable later when you go to take it back off again. And then take a rag and clean up any mess you got. Unless you like live up north where you need the rust prevention, take some pride in what you're doing here. Somebody looks under your truck, you don't want to see a mess. Alright, now it's time to put the fresh oil in. My drain plug is closed. Not tight, but not super tight. You're somewhere in the middle. Get it snug by hand and then crank it on a wrench about that much till it feels snug. It's got a rubber O-ring on there. You don't need to kill it. If it leaks or drips just a little bit, tighten it a little more. My oil filter's changed and hand tight. Alright, before I was so rudely interrupted by Mr. Plane there. My oil filter's hand tight as I can get it by hand with a relatively dry hand. I got my funnel in here because I can't make it in that hole, I'm sorry. I'm going to add my 7 quarts oil and we'll be done. I'm going to close this up, clean up any spills we made, and most importantly, well, second most important is to change your oil. Second most important, but most important, bring your oil somewhere and recycle it. I bought my stuff at O'Sadley's. They accept used oil. You can return it there. My local municipality accepts used oil filters to recycle. They have a limit how many you can do, like per month or per quarter or something, just so they don't have like shops and stuff doing it, because that'd be like wrong for the companies to do that and other people have to pay for it. One thing I know with this engine, I haven't had the problem yet, but the earlier iterations of the Triton 5.4 liter is they have cam phaser problems. Now, from all the different automotive forums and mechanics that I know and mechanics I've watched, say it comes from inside of the cylinder head. There's the return ports and the pressure ports for the oil feed, and any little bit of junk will get in there and clog them up, and your cam phaser stops working, starts clattering. Good way to prevent that is very regular strategic oil changes. Mine's a little bit late. I like to do 3,500 miles. I think the recommendation is like 8,000 miles or something from Ford for this truck. I think that's way too far. The oil that came out wasn't totally black. It had kind of a reddish hue to it still, but it was dark enough that it needed to be changed, and I'm preventing any damage from my engine. Spending $80 on an oil change or whatever, I don't drive that many miles, every quarter, every 3 months, $80 is a whole lot better than spending $8,000 on another engine. Just something to consider. Hope you enjoyed the video. Comment, rate, subscribe, and have an awesome day.